Howdy folks. So the other day somebody actually commented on on my video in regards to buying a used car for cash and things you need to look out for. That was based on buying from a personal seller, a private seller, as opposed to buying from a used car dealer. Now the commenter asked to talk about buying from a used car dealer. Well, I'll be very straight up and honest with you. I prefer to actually buy from a private seller, but there are benefits to buying from a used car dealer. And one of the things you will save most on is time, which, as everybody knows, is invaluable and you cannot put a price on it. I mean, how much is 1 hour of your life worth to you? To me, it's a lot, and to others it might be even more, because there are people who are making money hand over fist, whereby they actually make a lot more money in 1 hour than I do in an entire day, maybe even a week. That's depressing. Okay, let's not get depressed. Anyway, so if you're buying from a used car dealer, one of the things you must understand is that those cars are probably traded in for something that the previous owner spied in the used car lot that he wanted, and it happens very, very often. Normally, they are traded in for cash. Now, let's say, I'll just give a ballpark figure. Let's say that car was traded in for 10,000 ringgit cash in order to buy something else. That 10,000 ringgit, or rather the car, becomes the down payment for the other car that the owner is actually buying from that used car dealer. Okay? So let's say the used car dealer has taken in that car for 10,000 ringgit cash. He has to make that cost back. So it's not going to go for any less than 10,000, and usually it'll go 50% more than that, because the dealer has overheads, he's got rent to pay, he's got salespeople to give commissions to, he's got all kinds of stuff that he has to pay for every single day. Now, don't forget, used car dealers are not running a charity, yeah? Unlike me, who sometimes sell my car off at a loss. Used car dealers don't run a charity, they're running a business, and every business needs to make money. If not, there's no point having the business. Correct? Okay. So that being said, there are some used car dealers who try and make too much money, and even try to play some Mickey Mouse games where if they get a better offer after somebody has already paid a deposit, they will actually say the car has got something wrong with it, here's your deposit back, so sorry. That happens quite a lot. They get a better offer, they sell the car to the highest bidder, basically. And although that's unethical, that it happens. It really does happen. So the buyer is actually thankful he's getting his deposit back, when actually he's just been taken for a ride. Somebody actually just snatched the car from him, and it almost happened to my cousin as well. But he managed to get the car, and it was a reputable, good dealer. And maybe my cousin told the used car dealer, don't play the fool, because you know who my cousin is? Me! So I would have no qualms calling them out. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes. So the used car dealer has to make some money. He has to make some money back from what he has. He's already taken the time to assess the car, evaluate the car, park the car in his used car lot. He's probably given it a wash, or in some cases they actually paint the car. So don't be fooled by a car that looks spectacular on the outside, because that's the easiest thing to do. Used car dealers paint cars all the time, and it looks magnificent in pictures online. But when you go and see it, they can't tell you when it was last serviced. They can't tell you why there's so much oil underneath the car. They can't tell you why it looks like there was a freaking homeless people orgy in the car because of all the stains. They can't tell you anything about the car. It happens. It really, really does happen. So you need to be very careful. Don't be fooled by pictures. Like I've said, pictures can lie. Honestly, online I freaking look like Brad Pitt, okay? So that was an exaggeration. That was a major, major, major exaggeration, which I shall not do again. But anyway, yes, cars can look very different online. I mean, with the different apps that you have on your phone and Photoshop and all that, they can make cars look quite amazing, when actually they are nothing more than shiny pieces of dog poo-poo. Okay, so go and see the car for yourself and check it out if it's coming from a used car dealer, and ask, when was the last time this car was serviced. Sometimes you will get stickers on the car's windshield on the inside, which shows you when the car was last serviced, with the last service mileage, and when it's due again for the next one. All my cars have that. I insist on having that for all my cars. Now, not all cars from used car dealers are going to have that, make no mistake. Yeah, they are just trying to sell. Okay, to them it's a business. It doesn't matter if they're selling furniture or they're selling cars. They just want to sell, because the key to it is fast overhead turns, fast move out of product, so that they can put a different car in their showroom. And it's not really a showroom, as you know, if you've been to a used car dealer, it's usually just a roof with all the cars parked inside. And that's fine, at least they're out of the elements, okay? So that's a good thing. That's one good thing. Okay, the good thing about buying from a used car dealer is that hopefully, and that's only if the car has been there for a very long time, it's been shaded, it's been parked under a cover. But you don't really know for how long. So ask, how long has the car been there? How long has the car not been driven? How long has the car not been started? Usually used car dealers, the car can start. They've got jumper cables, they've got batteries, they've got spare batteries everywhere. Some of them, even I've seen that they've got that green box, which is a standalone unit as a car jumper. So they can start the car anytime. But when was the last time it was driven? Now, just starting an engine, okay, that's at least it's good. It's good. But it's not great. Cars need to be driven. It's like, let's say you've been in a coma for 6 months. You can't jump out of your hospital bed after 6 months in a coma and go for a marathon run. No, it's the same thing with cars. So ask, when was the last time this car was driven? When was the last time it was serviced? Can you please tell me a little bit more of its history? Most of the time, if you get a good used car dealer, they'll be more than happy to actually tell you a lot about the car. But a lot of times, they don't have time for this. They can't be bothered. You want it, you take it. You don't want, just go away. Don't disturb me. Time is money. Okay, I want to sell this car, and that's being done. One other thing now. This is the important thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's called football fees. Now, football fees are negotiable, okay? Because straight up, a Puspacom inspection is 32 ringgit or something like that. If you use mobile, it's 132 ringgit or something like that. And then a transfer fee is 100 ringgit. So you're looking at about, what, 200 and a bit, 230 ringgit all in just to get the car into your name. And then if it's only third-party insurance, it's going to be a couple of $100, maybe at the most 400 to 500 ringgit for 1 year of third-party fire and theft insurance. Depending on the CC of the car, let's give it an example for this one. It's a 1.8, so it's about 140 ringgit for 6 months, 280 ringgit for a year. So you total up all that in, it's less than $1,000, okay? It's less than $1,000 to get the car into your name and on the road legally, okay? But football fees can actually run into the thousands. Yeah? Why? Good question. I asked it. I'm going to answer. A lot of these used car dealers use runners. Runners are guys who have made a profession of doing this exactly. Getting the car inspected, getting the car name transferred, blah, 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 blah. And runners normally charge between 400 to 600 ringgit for each car. So, the dealer has to pay for that. He's going to pay for that. He's going to charge you for it. Okay? So that's 600. So maybe all in now it's 1,005. Let's put it, let's round it off. 1,005 to get the car in your name and legally on the road registered. Okay? Football fields again. I don't even play football. Football fees can actually go up to 2,000 ringgit, 2,500 ringgit, 3,000 ringgit. I've heard football fees of 4,000 ringgit. That is bull. Absolute bull. Because not only now are they trying to make a profit from selling you the used car that was traded in, they're trying to make money from the actual transfer of the used car. That is negotiable. That is totally negotiable. But I'll tell you this: if you get a used car dealer that straight up says 4,000 ringgit, I put it on the road for you, above and beyond the price of the car, walk away. He's just trying to take your money. He's just trying to play the fool with you. He's just trying to try his luck. If you do everything on your own, it'll come up to less than 1,500. Tell you straight up, it'll come up to less than 1,500. But not many people have the time to actually do this on their own. That's why they use the used car dealer, and that's where the football fees come in. Be very, very careful of that, okay? Because if you're paying 10,000 ringgit for a car, just the car alone, sometimes you'll hear body sahaja. It doesn't mean they're just selling you the body without the engine or the wheels or the transmission, okay? It means just the car alone, body sahaja, means the car alone, this is the price, alright? Then to get it inspected, registered in your name, new VOC, blah, 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 there's another price. That other price is the one you have to be careful about, because before you know it, suddenly your 10,000 ringgit car is 14,000 ringgit. Alright, so be very, very careful of that. The good thing about used car dealers is that they save you on time. So is your time worth 4,000 ringgit? If it is, by all means, go for it. You know, but I'm just telling you, you can save a heck of a lot more money if you do it on your own. I have done everything when it comes to selling one of my vehicles on my own. I don't use runners. You know, so you could say I'm my own runner, and I don't even charge a runner fee. So you're getting a car that I have made sure is legal to be sold, and there's no Mickey Mouse going on with the registration or the documents. Everything is in order. If at any point it failed, I would definitely return the deposit, no questions asked. And that's another thing about deposits. Yeah, I want to tell you something very interesting that nobody really cares about or nobody really wants to adhere to, is that if you pay a deposit and you renege on the deal, the seller keeps the deposit. Now that's normal, right? However, what not many people know is that if the seller decides to sell to somebody else after taking your deposit, he has not only to return your deposit, but he has to double it. Yes. So let's say you put a 500 ringgit deposit on a car, the guy takes your deposit, but suddenly he sells it to somebody else. He not only has to return you 500, he has to return you 500 times 2. I bet many of you didn't know that. But anyway, it's supposed to be that way. Because obviously, if he has sold it to somebody else, he has made more money than your deal. So he's supposed to return it times 2. Nobody ever sticks to that. They're just happy to get their deposit back. But you know what? It's a gentleman's agreement. So if you want to be a gentleman about it, just get your deposit back. You're happy? Okay, great, fine, move on. Sometimes I've heard cases where you don't even get the deposit back. Yeah, kind of shitty there. Sorry, I don't normally horn people, but when they are playing with their phone and they slow down to 20 kilometers an hour on a main road, yeah, you're gonna get horned. You're gonna get old school horn, baby. Old school horn. So okay, anyway, that's just my little spiel in regards to buying from a used car dealer. More often than not, they will not know very much about the car they are selling, unlike a private seller who can show you receipts of what he has done recently, what has gone into the car, what has transpired, what he has upgraded, blah blah blah. It's exactly what you get when you buy from a private seller like me or anybody out there who is selling his own car. Like the Sentra I just bought, I had such great conversations with the guy and his dad. It was amazing. It was like I was listening to history of how that car served them and what it went through when it was in their possession. I absolutely freaking love that. Really love that. I mean, when people can talk about their cars with passion, and it makes you feel like you're actually adopting a member of their family, for God's sake. Really, it does. And that's exactly what the buyer of this Bluebird's gonna get. He's getting a part of my family, and to me, that's priceless. And I hope buyers of my Weevils feel that way as well. Okay, so that's it. Okay, and so if you have any more questions in regards to buying from a used car dealer, let me know in the comments. Some used car dealers actually ask for a deposit before you test drive. That's yeah, I'm sorry, that's just if that's the only reason they want that is because it's going to probably take them trouble to actually get the car out and drive, and worse, if they have nefarious intentions, they know there's something wrong with the car, and if it breaks down on the way, it's your fault. They're going to keep your deposit even if you don't buy the car. So you should never ever pay a deposit just to go and test drive a car, for God's sake. As for a private seller, if you're going to drive off alone, you have to leave him something in as part of a guarantee. I normally hand over the keys to the car I've gone to see and test drive. I normally hand over the keys to, if I'm driving my Corolla SE there, I'll hand him the keys and say, yeah, hold on to my car until I come back with yours. Okay, that's just fair, because I could be anybody. He doesn't know me from Adam, and I could just drive off with the car. If I come with a friend, one of us drive off and he'll never see the car again, and then I'll strip it down for parts and sell it off bit by bit. All this can happen, excuse my language, but yeah, it can, and it does. So yes, it is very normal for somebody to go with you. That's always wonderful. I always ask them to come along with me, because if anything happens during the test drive, if I hear something or something doesn't feel right, I can always ask them about it on the spot. I tested my brick wagon exactly the same way, and the seller actually came with me, and it was a nice drive. And I actually paid the deposit before we reached back, because I heard there might be people there waiting to test drive the car as well. So I paid him the deposit in the car. Yes, I'm a sneaky little bastard. Anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please hit me up in the comments. I know I've been a little bit lax in replying comments. I get to them eventually, especially for the videos, and I will try to reply them all. Okay, let me think. Anything else? Since I've got this rolling and it's a one take. No, I think that's it. Yeah, I think I've pretty much covered all the bases. Just be careful of those football fees. those things are killers, absolute killers. And I have walked away from many a used car dealer because they tried to get me on that. And that's also how they make their money. That's how they make their extra income, because they have to make. I mean, it's a business; they have to make money. So they're trying to make money from the sale of the car, from the actual car, and they're trying to make money from the process of selling the car, which to me it's a little bit unethical, because while they should charge for all the requirements that go into getting a car inspected and selling it legally, they shouldn't blow it out of proportion and charge thousands. It does not cost thousands. And if they're already making a profit from the car itself, you know, trying to just make more profit from the actual process, to me that's just greedy. And you shouldn't have to pander to it. You can actually negotiate, because it's not cast in stone. No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. So that's it. Hit me up in the comments if you have anything else. Peace out.